Our church, parsonage, and cemetery was built on this land. The farm consisted of 103 acres. It extended north to the driveway of Max and Louis Foles farm. In 1846, land was deeded from Afrasini Walk to Christoph Walk, Frederick Wendt, and Christoph Kroning, who were trustees of the German Evangelical Old Lutheran Church. The cornerstone was moved from that first church to our present church building. It reads outside, if you take a look at it, Evangelical St. Patrick Kirch. I was told that the first church building was built on the southwest corner of our cemetery, next to the parsonage driveway. In 1881, land was deeded to William Hasley, spelled with one E, William F. Hasley, spelled with one E, and Christian Wendt, trustees of the Old Lutheran Church of New Walmore. In 1881, Ernstine Walk deeded the farm to Frank and Augusta Retzlaff, my great-grandparents. In 1915, Frank and Augusta Retzlaff deeded land to Philip Walk, Edward Retzlaff, and John Fool, trustees of St. Peter's Church of New Walmore. That's what it was called then. Our present church building, which was built on this property in 1915. In 1925, Frank and Augusta Retzlaff deeded the farm to Rudolph and Mary Retzlaff, my grandparents. That's taken from my title search.
When I was with the history of the congregation having such an emphasis on education, they say when they came over, before they built a church, they built a school for the kids to go to. My first experience was, 70 years ago in first grade. One-room schoolhouse, 8 grades, 1 teacher. I was only a little guy in first grade, and I felt like I was amongst a bunch of giants in there with the 8th graders in with the same classroom, but somehow we survived. It was just down the road here, a little ways, across the road from where the church is, and there was no plumbing down there, and they'd always select a couple of boys to go down to the parsonage, go to the pump, get a pail of water, dump it in the water thing for the kids to drink. And we had the outhouses there, and then from there, I was only there I think a year or two, and then we went at school in the parsonage for several years. I was in there for a year until the other school was built around 1952. And when we went to that school, that was really a big step upward from first grade to whichever grade I was in there. But there still, you only had 2 teachers for 8 grades, 1st through 4 and 5 through 8 there. But I guess the impressive thing is that the congregation, over all the years, has sacrificed a lot to make sure that their children were educated. And now I guess it's more of a mission than it was at that time, because the majority of the children are not from the congregation. So there's our mission outreach for the community and for the church.
When the present school was built in the early 50s, the wooden floor that is in the gym was gotten from a roller rink up at Niagara Falls. There was a roller rink called Dexter's Roller Rink, and they went out of business, and our congregation made a deal with them and got all the wood from the wooden roller skating rink and brought it out here, and that is the wood that's in the present gym in the old school.
On stage.
When they built the church, there were people that said they would never pay it off in their lifetime. I think it was somewhere around $20,000. And I don't know, it didn't take very long and they paid it off, she always said, which surprised a lot of them.
When you went to Holy Communion, you would go over usually on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday night and announce yourself and your family to the pastor that you intended to commune on Sunday. And then Sunday, when there was communion, the families would not commune together as a family. The men sat on one side and the women on the other. And the women would always be communed first, and then the men would be communed. And I remember when they had funerals, they would always sing a song. They would hand out these leaflets, and we would go to the cemetery, and they would sing. The song had 8 verses. They would sing 4 verses, and I'll just sing the one verse. It's entitled, "This Body in the Grave We Lay." And it went, "This body in the grave we lay, there to await that solemn day, when God himself shall bid it rise, triumphant into the skies." And they would sing 4 verses, and then the pastor would have his talk, and then they would end up and sing the last 4 verses, and that would be the end of the service at the cemetery.
Also, I remember years back when we had Christmas Eve service, we had one service, and we had chairs not only up the center aisle, we had chairs on both side aisles. And that was kind of a fire hazard to do that. And the church was so full that some people had to go home. There wasn't room. And that's why we went years back to 2 services for Christmas Eve.
The only creed that we ever used in the German services was the Apostles' Creed. They never used the Nicene Creed or the Athanasian Creed. And the Apostles' Creed was always sung in German. And I would sing that for you. I know a lot of people don't understand the German, but since it's a service here that we're having going back 175 years, you might like to hear it. Pastor Grabau would come down to the front of the church, have his black robe on, and then he would say, "Ich glaube an einen Gott." And then the congregation would respond, "Ich glaube an Gott, den Vater Allmächtigen, Schöpfers von die Himmel und die Erden, und am Jesum Christum, seinen eingeborenen Sohn, unseren Herrn, der empfangen ist von dem Heiligen Geist, geboren von der Jungfrau Maria, gelitten unter Pontio Pilatus, gekreuzigt, gestorben und begraben, niedergefahren, hierzu geht zur Hölle. Am 3. Tage wieder auferstandet von den Toten, und die geht ihr zur Himmels. Ich glaube an dem Heiligen Geist, eine heilige christliche Kirche, die gemein von dem Heiligen, und an ewiges Lebens. Amen.
Well, I think you have a real good theme for a celebration. Great is thy faithfulness. that kind of tells us how we got this far with God's faithfulness. If He continues to bless us, hopefully we'll be here many, many years to come.
Great is thy
The Lord's help, you get through it.
oh God, my friend.
There was always ups and downs, no matter when it was. If it was generations ago, there was always ups and downs, but you always had put your faith in the Lord, and He always seen you through it.
Thou changest not thy compassions.
Makes us wonder if people still would have that courage for their faith
That's right.
to risk your life and everything you have just to for your religious freedom.